Fellow comic book collectors, today is another episode of the price variance. That's what we're calling it. It's a name in progress. I'm not sure if I'm super happy with it because the UK price is usually a little higher than Canadian price, so I don't know. I feel a little bit slighted. Yeah, basically this is a fun show. We're just talking about different books that we love, different books we think are good to read, and maybe some specs mixed in, and a brain teaser for each of us. We're going to sort of test our comic book knowledge, and we're going to do that, see how great we are. So we'll probably both fail, but that's beside the point. So the thing is, this video is a two-parter. So you're going to see half of it on my channel, this channel right now, and I'm going to give you a link to Mark's channel, and I'll give you a quick introduction to Mark. So it's Mark Oldroyd. I always butcher his name. And he still hangs out with me. It's kind of cool.
It's close enough.
Mark has a really great channel. Just imagine my channel, but better. That's Mark's channel. And he really does, share the love of comics. And he's really put a lot of heart and soul into the stories that he tells on his channel. So I recommend you check out his stuff. He actually does a lot more spec videos than I do. And his specs are pretty spot on. It was kind of funny. There was one where I was watching his spec video, and it was the DAZZLER #6. And it was so funny. That video, when it launched, in the mail, just to show you how spot on his specs are, in the mail was my copy that I ordered of DAZZLER #6 that day. It was the weirdest coincidence ever. So it's like we're like tuned mentally to each other. So even though I'm in Canada and he's in the UK, we're tuned in mentally. So yeah. So with all that said, it's really great to have another show of the price variance with Mark. So hi, Mark.
Hi, Alan. It's great to be here again. I'm just a bit worried we're picking some books. Last time we picked some covers, so we picked books because of that artwork. So this time we're picking books because they're a good read. And I'm just slightly worried where I'm quite similar, because I know you like Watchmen and I like Watchmen. I'm a bit worried.
Don't worry.
we're a bit hot. So okay, we're good then.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll start off with maybe just one spec each.
Yeah.
A modern or golden age or whatever it is. I'll let you go first. Okay. I'd like to see what I'm kind of curious what you have to spec on. So.
All right. Okay. So this is an interesting one. I know you like history, and I think this is a piece of social history. It's a Gaiman cover. It's a Gaiman book. It's Death Talks About Life. Okay. And this is from 1994. Yeah. We've got the Sandman television series coming up. I'm sure Death is going to be in it. And, as a spec book, you can buy this for sort of like $10, $20 now. This, in my view, will go up. This won't be $10 or $20 in a year's time. Yeah. And this book is really interesting because this was produced in 1994. I don't know how old you were in 1994, Alan.
Really old.
Were you old enough to worry about getting AIDS?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was my university age.
Oh, okay, you were worried about getting AIDS then.
Yeah.
So this comic book was produced, and Death talks about how to stop, about safe sex, basically. He and John Constantine, who appears in this, put a condom on a banana.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's a really great comic book, and very, very sort of particular to the time, and I know you like history, and I think this is a comic book with some social history to it, and also I think a great spec book.
Yeah, I think Death as a character is one of those kind of cool characters that I hope they do her right.
Yeah,
I'm
same,
sort of
same here.
worried. I've already heard some bad rumors about
Have
it,
you?
so
Okay.
I'm a little bit nervous. I'm a little bit nervous because in my mind, Death is kind of this goth chick.
Yes, exactly. Look at her.
Yeah, goth chick.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, but that's the way I see her. They're gonna social justicey her, so they're gonna make her black.
Okay.
And like there's a bunch of things that they're planning on doing. So, I'm a little bit nervous. I'm hoping that they can somehow manage to make it okay. But we'll see. I always try to keep an open mind. But yeah, Death is definitely a cool character, and anything related to her, if the show does well, is going to be hot.
Yeah,
and
agreed.
So yeah, so my spec is interesting one that I actually just bought today.
Okay.
And actually was going to buy it like so many times, and it was always shipping that killed me. I was like, oh, I can't do it. Shipping will just, it's not worth it for the shipping. And it's one of those dollar bin books. Okay.
Right. Okay.
So,
those are the ones I like.
so this is it. It says $13. It's a mint copy. It's like a perfect copy. But I didn't pay that much. I paid like half that. So just so you know. And this is Outcast #1. And this is, I believe it's Kirkman, Robert, like, so another
Invincible
and all these, The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Well, they're also going to make a series about this.
Okay.
And it's one of those books that nobody cared about. Nobody cares about. You can buy a 9/8 slabbed for $30.
Wow.
So it is totally under the radar, totally underappreciated. It's a book that I've been wanting to pick up for about a couple of years now. I just haven't gotten around to it. I don't know why. But every time it's the shipping, like, for, that kind of dollar bin, do you really want to pay like $20 shipping? It's like, just, so I found it it was weird. The shop that I went to, they don't sell like back issues, but for some reason, I guess somebody had just recently sold their comic collection to them, and this was in it. Wow. I was like, hey, wow, what are the coincidences? So I decided to pick it up.
That's
so this
a great spec. Yeah, I like that one. I'm going to seek that one out. Yeah.
Yeah. And as I said, it's so cheap. You can pick a slab 9/8, $30.
Yeah, no, that's really good spec.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to seek that one out. I did get your Afterlife with Archie cover pick.
Oh yes, you mentioned that. Did you get it slabbed, or did you get?
It's great, and I bought a few of the others with by the same artist. Peppoy, is it?
Yeah.
I bought a few.
Yeah, you'll have to send me a list of all his. I don't know which others he did.
Oh, okay.
So
there's a couple of them. There's 2 or 3.
I really like that one. That is just such a great cover.
There's a couple of other lingerie ones from the same set.
Yeah, women in lingerie. I don't know, something about it just appeals to me. I'm a pervy old man. What can I say?
Well,
so now we're going to get into potentially a good read. I'd like to hear what you're going to pick as your good read for this.
So my first one, this is Alan Moore at his peak. Okay. Mm-hmm. So this is just before Watchmen, or roughly about the same time as Watchmen, actually.
Okay.
Alan Moore did a long run on Swamp Thing.
Oh, yeah.
Which was really,
brilliant.
It was one of the things that got me into comics back in the day. And I've got the entire run of Alan Moore Swamp Thing. And I went up because we were doing this show, I thought one of my favorite reads was Alan Moore's Swamp Thing. Mm-hmm. But I haven't read them for ages. So I went up into the attic and I grabbed a couple of copies, and I opened one up and I read it, and it was fantastic.
It is amazing.
It's this one, Swamp Thing 40. Okay. Mm-hmm. So the story here is, it's got John Constantine in it, because John Constantine's first appearance was in Swamp Thing 37.
Yes.
This is Swamp Thing 49. So he's been around a bit by the time we get to this one. Mm-hmm. And something evil is coming. right? So there's some bird which has got some pearl in its mouth and it drops it. And virtually every mystical character in the DC universe appears in this comic. Zatanna, Zatara, Dr. Fate, you name them, they appear because they realize this big evil is coming. So John Constantine goes and gets all the human mystics, and Swamp Thing goes and gets Demon, Phantom Stranger. It's tremendous. And it's really well written. This is Alan Moore at his peak.
I'm not sure if you know this. That comic is cited as the cameo for Justice League Dark.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's.
I didn't know.
I know that book. I'm like, I love that book. I know that.
But I just reread it today, and it's a great read. You know. So
I should have picked that as my guess who.
Yeah, you should. I wouldn't have got it.
So yeah. Wow, that's a really good choice. I can really appreciate that. I actually thought when you started saying Alan Moore and you talked about Watchmen, I actually thought you were going to say V for Vendetta.
I've got the full set of V for Vendetta, which is great. You know, it's one of, again, Alan Moore in that period
is brilliant. Yeah.
Unstoppable, you know. Miracle Man. He just did a whole range of stuff which was just fantastic. I mean, he then went off the boil and he became old and sour and began to look like Gandalf, you know. So
he looks like Gandalf, yeah.
He does look like Gandalf, yeah.
Yeah. That's a good choice. Okay, so my pick is actually right behind me. I'm gonna grab it.
Oh, okay.
So it's this one. And believe it or not, this is a golden age comic. It's like, you know, golden age. So
1940s, 1950s?
1946.
Okay.
So you can pick this up for about, I'm gonna guess like $300 to $500. Okay. So it's not a dollar bin dive. You're not gonna find it that way.
You're not gonna find it in a dollar bin, no.
No, it's one of those comics though you can still pick up, and I think it's actually pretty affordable. And the reason I'm mentioning this book is I'm in love with the character from it.
Who's the character?
And I'll actually show you a picture of her. She's actually behind me as well, but this is what she looks like.
Oh, right. Okay. Is that Phantom? Who is it? The Mask. Oh, the Mask. Okay.
This Mask. So this story in it it's a pretty simple story. But something about it, I kind of like that golden age storytelling. It's just the superheroes didn't have to have superpowers. Like nowadays, like, you know, they're like so overpowered. You know what I mean? Like, you know, if I'm a bad guy, I wouldn't want to go up against a modern superhero because they're going to crush you. But this is like the bad guys being just regular people too. Yeah. And the superheroes being just regular people wearing a mask.
Yeah.
And that's really the whole thing. And maybe that's why I like The Watchmen, because it's sort of that same idea.
It is similar to that, yeah.
And this story, this is Miss Mask's first appearance. And she is just sort of this character. She's a socialite who has this kind of desire to be a crime fighter. And she doesn't have any superpowers, no superpowers at all, but she can do jujitsu. That's her skill. Like jujitsu solves everything. And she's always getting the criminals are always getting the upper hand on her, but she manages to solve it, even though, she's not necessarily the strongest or the best, but she perseveres. And I kind of like that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, I like that. And so how did you read it? Because that's in the slab. Have you got a raw copy?
Okay, so this is why I'm saying this is a good read. So a lot of these things I read online.
Okay. Like digital copies.
I'm like I'm not one of those comic collectors that goes in and smells the book, and I'm not that kind of guy. I'm a digital guy. I do like reading my books online because you can zoom in, you can kind of read it. So what I do is I go to a site, it's called Read Comic Books Online, like dot whatever. There's a bunch of different variations of that site. And you can read that book online. And it's, you know, you can zoom in, you can read all the bubbles, and you can really get a sense of the characters. That's how I'm, in a way, I'm sort of that, I'm older, like I'm actually pretty old, but I like the digital style. And so this is my kind of character. I kind of, I'm getting a little sick of these overpowered characters, and I kind of liked a little bit simpler times. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, well, Batman's got no superpowers.
Yeah, exactly. But he has so many gadgets.
Yeah, he's got lots of money and gadgets. Yeah,
money and gadgets. That's all you need in life. So yeah, so that's my spec. That's not my spec, but that's my reading, you know, thing. And right now, I'm trying to collect all the Miss Masks because I'm in love with that girl. I just think she's so beautiful, sexy. You know, a real traditional woman. I kind of like so.
Yeah, I've picked up on that. I watched your review of the new Guardians. What is it?
New Masters of the Universe.
Masters of the Universe. Yeah, I mean that passed me by because I'm a bit older than you. So when that came out, my view was that was for kids, and I hadn't got kids of my own at the time. So the whole of that passed me by. But I can understand how upsetting that is that it's gone woke.
Yeah, I couldn't sleep because of it, actually. I was like, they're going to kill my childhood. So yeah, it was pretty sad. I was very, very sad about it. Oh, well. So what was the next thing? Oh, next thing is...
Guess who?
You're going to try to stump me, I guess.
Yeah, okay. This is a bit easier than my last one, which I have to admit was quite hard. So you'll either know this or you won't know it. Okay, but I will give you some clues if you don't know it.
Okay.
So this is a Pacific comic.
Okay.
Pacific Comics.
I'm gonna get. I can already guess what it is, but okay.
All right, you're probably going to get it then. And it's Star Slayer #2.
I knew you were gonna do. Once you said Pacific Comics, I already knew who it was, and it's the first appearance of the Rocketeer.
Correct. Oh, good. I'm pleased you got it because I felt a bit bad last time when you didn't get it.
Oh yeah, but you mentioned like this really obscure character. I don't know, but this one I know because I actually liked the Rocketeer movie.
Yeah, me too. And it actually it didn't do well in the box office, but it's got quite a cult following.
Yeah, it's a great movie. It's kind of I like the fact that the superhero isn't really good at using his own superpowers. Like, you know, he all he has is a jetpack.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
that's his superpowers. It's like, it's pretty awesome.
I've heard a rumor they're doing a Rocketeer 2.
Oh wow, that'd be great.
I think it's the Rocketeer is now old, and it's his daughter who the film is going to be about. Of course.
And
she's probably gay, but anyway, you know.
Yeah, lesbian. Yeah, typical. It's like, come on, Hollywood.
So there we go. Yeah, you got that one. Well done, Alan. I thought you might get that one. It was a bit easier than my last one.
Yeah, that was much easier. I actually, once you said Pacific Comics,
you knew who I was going to do, didn't you?
Yeah, I knew it. Okay, well, that was great. So this is the first half of our show. If you want to see the second half, you get to see more specs, more challenges. I'm going to try to stump Mark, and you're going to see some more great reads. So I'm going to put the link in the description, and it's going to be to Mark's channel. So you're going to subscribe to that channel, okay? I'm telling you, people, subscribe to his channel. Okay, and also subscribe to my channel, please.
Yeah. No. I went up from 60 to 80 subscribers last time.
Cool.
It was great.
Yeah. So
hopefully I might hit 100.
That 1,000 mark. Okay. So
we need to get you to 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely do that. We're going to say goodbye now. And thanks again for coming on my show, Mark. And I'll come on your show now. So
always a pleasure.